Hey, it's DPerry, and I am a realtor with Property Consultants in Bucktown. And today on Logan Square and West Townhomes Live, I'm going to share with you a free report entitled 8 Simple Rules for Negotiating Your Offer and Getting That House. You and your agent are going to use everything you've learned to seal the deal. This article is brought to you by House Logic, which is made possible by realtors. But before we get started, I want to share a freebie with you. What is it? It's called Market Snapshot. Its name implies exactly what it does. It'll give you a snapshot of real estate activity in any area in the Chicagoland area, any neighborhood that you choose. So how does it work? You get an email, you click a link, bam, here you go. You see houses plotted on a map. They're color-coded according to their status. New for sale, sold, pending, expired. You can filter what you see. You can also sort in a variety of different ways. Most recent, closest to target location, highest to lowest, lowest to high. You get it. And you can drill down into houses and you can get details. So I click the house and you get to see all the pretty pictures, floor plans, whatever the realtor provides, property details, things like room dimensions, flooring. If you have school-age children, you get to see the schools nearby, the distance from the home, the grades. Sometimes a student-teacher ratio is given. Sometimes a great school score is given. And of course, home is more than just the 4 walls that you live in. It also includes area amenities, shops, restaurants, parks, you name it. So you click restaurants, you get a list of what's within walking distance. We've got one here, table, donkey, and stick. You get a Yelp review. You get to see pictures, menus, hours, reviews. It's a beautiful thing. And guess what? The price is absolutely right. It's free. It costs you nothing to get Market Snapshot. All you have to do is click the link that's over in the show notes. If you ever get tired of it, and I don't think you will, you can always unsubscribe at any time. So now, back to our report. Okay, 8 simple rules for negotiating your offer and getting that house. You and your agent are going to use everything you've learned to seal the deal. Now, here's the dream. Your offer is perfect. You don't need to negotiate, and you can spend the next few weeks addressing more pressing home ownership questions like, why is it called wainscoting? And do I want a new couch in blush or emerald green? And it could happen. Many sellers accept the best offer they receive, and for a variety of reasons, but sellers are also known to reject offers for a variety of reasons or make counter offers. This is especially likely if you bid low or when you're up against multiple competing offers. If you do receive a counter offer, it's up to you to decide whether you want to accept the new contract, negotiate the terms, or walk away. In cases such as these, look to your agent. He or she is your spirit guide. If you decide you want to negotiate, that is, make a counter offer to the seller's counter offer, your agent will use their negotiating skills to help get you the best deal. This is what agents do every day. But you're not just going to sit there. If you understand what negotiating tactics your agent may deploy, they depend on the local market and your position. You can back them up and cheer them on. Here are 8 rules every buyer should know before they and the agent start negotiating. Number 1, act fast, like now. When you receive a counteroffer, you should respond quickly, ideally within 24 hours. The longer you wait, the more space you leave for another buyer to swoop in and nab the property. Also, if a seller senses hesitation, they may decide to withdraw their counteroffer before you even have a chance to respond. Number 2, raise your price within reason. While you obviously don't want to overpay for a house, you may have to up the ante, especially if you initially made a lowball offer. Lean on your agent's expertise to determine how much money you should add to the sale price to make it more enticing to the seller. Then, through their powers of persuasion, your agent can make the counteroffer look even more attractive by pointing out similarly priced comps, recently sold homes in your area that are comparable in terms of square footage and features. As your agent negotiates, it can feel like things are escalating quickly. It's stressful. You may feel a sudden urge to do whatever it takes to win. Before you go overboard, there are 2 things you must keep in mind. Number 1, you can't exceed the monetary confines of the pre-approved mortgage you receive from your lender. And number 2, you shouldn't overextend your budget. Because your counteroffer has to be an amount you're comfortable spending on a home, you want that new house and to keep living your life. Plus, you're not out of options yet. Number 3, increase your earnest money deposit. Increasing your earnest money deposit, or EMD, the sum of money you put down to prove to the seller you're serious, in other words, earnest, about buying the house, is another way to show the seller you have more skin in the game. And a standard EMD is typically 1% to 3% of the sale price of the home. Making a counteroffer with a 3% to 4% deposit could be what you need to persuade the seller to side with you. Number 4, demonstrate patience about taking possession. Depending on the seller's timetable, changing your proposed possession date, the date you take over the property, could butter them up too. If the seller wants to stay in the home for a few days after closing, try offering a later possession date. You could also draw up a rent-back agreement, meaning that the seller pays you rent for staying in the home for a set period of time after the closing date. Number 5, let go of a few contingencies with care. Want to give your counteroffer an even bigger boost? Reduce the number of contingencies you're asking for. It's your way of saying, hey, look, I have fewer ways to back out, which gives the seller more reassurance that the deal will close. But be selective. Some contingencies are too important to give up. A home inspection contingency, in other words, the right to have a home inspection and request repairs, gives you an out if you spot major problems with the home and protects you from buying a total money pit. You might waive a termite inspection if you're in a state where the risk is lower. But ultimately, waiving contingencies depends on your market, your loan program requirements, your risk tolerance, and the circumstances of the house in question. And if you waive contingencies and then you find a problem, the seller isn't responsible for fixing it. Number 6, ask for fewer concessions. At a mortgage settlement, home buyers have to pay closing costs for taxes, lender's fees, and title company fees. Closing costs vary by location, but you can expect to shell out between 3 and 4% of the home's sale price. The seller pays an additional 1 to 3%. Smart Asset and NerdWallet have simple calculators you can use to get a rough idea of what your closing costs might be. Now, when making an initial offer, you have the option to ask the seller for concessions, a settlement paid in cash to help you offset your share of the closing costs. This move is less feasible if you're going up against multiple offers. Concessions effectively lower the seller's net proceeds from the sale. Making a counteroffer that removes the concessions you would have otherwise received as settlement puts cash back in the seller's pocket and can improve your bid. Number 7, pick up the cost of the home warranty. Sometimes sellers offer prospective buyers a home warranty. This is a plan that covers the costs of repairing major home appliances and systems, like the air conditioner or hot water heater, if they break down within a certain period, typically a year after closing. A basic home warranty costs about $300 to $600 a year, according to Angie's List. If it seems like waiving the home warranty can sweeten negotiations, but you still want the peace of mind of having one, tell the seller they don't need to cover it, then buy it yourself. Just keep in mind, whether you or the seller buy the warranty, you'll need to pay the service fee, typically between $50 and $100 if something does indeed need to be repaired while under warranty. Also, FYI, a home warranty is entirely separate from homeowner's insurance. Homeowner's insurance, the security blanket that covers your home structure and possessions in the event of a fire, storm, flood, or other accident, is required if you take out a mortgage. It can cost anywhere from $300 to $1,000 per year. And number 8, know when to walk. When negotiating with a seller, trust your gut and your agent. If he or she says a deal is bad for you, listen. And if you don't want to make any more trade-offs and the seller won't budge, it's smart to walk. That can be a tough decision to make, and rightfully so. Negotiating is tough, it's draining, and losing something you've worked hard to get can be disappointing. But don't worry, there's a better deal for you out there. And after those strong feelings of frustration pass, you'll realize, now I know how to do this. So, I hope you found value in that. And if you'd like to keep your finger on the pulse of real estate in any activity, all you got to do is sign up for Market Snapshot. Like I said at the beginning of the report, it's simple, it's easy, it's a great tool. It literally provides a snapshot of real estate activity in any area that you choose. The price is right. It's absolutely free. You can get as frequently as you like or as infrequently. If you want it once a week, cool. If you only want it once a year, that's okay too. And you can unsubscribe at any time. To get it, all you got to do is click the link. The link you see on the screen is live in the show notes. So click the live link in the show notes. If you have any questions about real estate, call me, Doug Perry, at 312-572-9801, or you can email me at dperry@propertyconsultants.com. I would love to talk to you. I'd love it even more if we can meet.